Go ahead, man.
All right, man, welcome into another edition of the Scenario Remix. This is your boy, Matt. Got my man, Daryl here. And we actually have down here on the bottom of the screen, we have the color barrier being broken for the program.
I think we may have, we had, no, is he our Jackie Robinson for real?
Until then, I was the lightest person that's ever done the show until just.
Wow, this is a big deal. Yeah. You are the Jackie Robinson of this podcast.
This is healthy. This is all healthy. This is what we need, right?
This is like the last time that a white guy made an NBA roster. Right?
Am I Jason Williams?
Oh, you are Jason Williams.
Yeah. He was kind of a weirdo, though, right?
No, he was super weird. He was super weird.
Was he a bizarre? Yeah.
You know, him and Randy Moss were in the same high school squad together.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. There's videos on YouTube of him throwing them alley-oops, throwing Randy Moss alley-oops.
Every one of those NBA players could play in the NFL. Every single one of them. I think if they have, you're still getting hit every single day, so the physicality is different. But most of those guys, man, if you want to be a tight end, you don't think LeBron James could go be a tight end, like move away from you, jump up and catch every single ball and out jump you? Are you crazy?
It'd be crazy. I don't even think they let you make that on Madden. But but one of my best friends and one of the guys that's maybe my most unique friendship, Hall of Famer. We'll get to that. Cam Janssen. So Cam, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for making the time.
Yeah, man. Anytime, buddy. Yeah, we, it was, my first job ever besides going on the ice and having to, do what I did was radio with you, man. And, you helped me out a lot, Maddie. You did. You helped me out a lot. I learned a lot from you. Just so you know, I'm going to pump your tires up. I learned a lot from you, man. I honestly did. And man, we had some fun, too. We had some fun. So now we get to go and reminisce now, dude. So funny how everything comes back together.
And you did a lot for me. I met a lot of people who maybe had never met a person in media that was actually just a regular dude and wasn't chasing them around before. So
exactly.
We've done a lot of cool stuff, man. And we're going to talk about a few of those things, namely like the time that we just gave Sports Illustrated the most interesting interview of all time. and then went upstairs and hung out with Wayne Gretzky and Chris Pronger, and it's the weirdest 5 minutes of my life right there. But
and that's something,
man. You making it through these interesting times that we're going through right now,
dude. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Everything's been great for me, and I know that's not the case for a lot of people, and I get that. But for me, I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh my God, I got to do my show from my office. I figured out Zoom, which we all needed to do.
Fuck.
We're all innovative now. We're doing Zoom. We're like, press that button, boom, we're good, baby. Got the podcast rolling, got big sponsors coming on. So I was able to do everything I needed to do to get to the next level in my next career from my office right now with this technology. So in a way, man, I got lucky and I took advantage of the moment. So everything's going well now. But I worked my ass off. It's not easy, Maddie, when people are like, do a Zoom call, and all of a sudden you're like, it's not just on the phone. Like I gotta look, what's up? Like, God almighty, my face okay? Like, so you get used to doing that kind of stuff, but it's all good. And again, things on my end are pretty well. And I'm not gonna lie and say they're not.
It's funny that you say that because like when we started doing stuff with Zoom, at first I was just like, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm going to be sitting around in the house staring at a computer. It's going to be weird. And then here's the thing I really realized about Zoom is that I have gotten drunker on this website than any website of all time, ever.
Dude.
And I think that the statute of limitations has passed now. We can say that most certainly that we weren't the most sober radio show of all time when we were together, at least me and you. But
oh, dude.
But we're fine.
No, what's the funny thing about Zoom is I think you see other people drinking, and then I think it's like an infectious thing of like you see them drinking and you want to drink.
No, I think it's like, hey, we're hanging out at a bar together, and that's why in my opinion, when the raw Zoom calls are happening, like everybody, it's like being right next to you. So it's like you're not like, oh, I'm going to be a robot, ask me questions, let me be my robot. No. We're like, what's up, man? Like, hey, how you doing? So I feel like I'm right here with you guys. I feel like you're right next to me in my office hanging out. So it just makes a conversation just raw and real. It's awesome.
So we're gonna talk about your podcast too, but because I mean, obviously, you know, that thing's blown up into a big deal, and you should absolutely be proud of that. You should know that, and I want to get to that after we talk a little bit more about hockey and things like that. Because first of all, I want to say about this is that there's been absolutely no black person that I've ever taken to a hockey game that hasn't come away and been like, that was the best shit ever. Why haven't I been down here to do this like years and years ago? And then, like, in St. Louis, immediately, they're like, yeah, I used to watch it when Brett Hull was on. And I was like, that was 20 years ago. You should be going to the rink, having a good time. But, dude, I'm going to say this right now. We can just jump into it. I feel like hockey is the best live sport that there is, period.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with soccer, man. I'm going to go with soccer, man.
Really?
Yeah. I went to a Premier League game last year in London, man, and it was just – I mean, I'd never experienced nothing like that in my life live.
So I hear what you're saying. So I lived over in England for a year because I played there. I went to Man City game versus Moscow. Was it cool? Yeah. It was 100,000 men that were all drunk. No,
see, you went to a Man City game. I'm a Man U guy, though. You go to Man U. Dude. They got martinis. They got everything laid out for you if you get the
booze.
right.
There was no booze there. 100,000 men drunk, like kind of scary. And I'm like rooting for Moscow because I wanted it to be a good game. And my teammates are like, shut up. Or, you know, these guys are rowdy. And it was just the weirdest thing. I didn't see one female. I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's like a nightmare, to be honest with you.
It sounds like the worst. It sounds like the worst version of the YMCA of all time. Right there, 10,000
crazy. But hockey's a fun sport to watch live.
It definitely
it's
is.
Raw. It's in your face. It's fast as shit. You can hear the guys chirping. It's physical. When the fights were happening all the time, that made it even more hardcore to watch live when you got guys beating the shit out of each other and then skating in the penalty box and doing their shit. People love that. That doesn't happen anymore, but the game is so fast to where you just appreciate it.
Well,
but it's hard to get into, though. It's hard to get into as a youth kid.
And that's where I want to lay the track for that. So, obviously, you spent 10 years in the NHL. You know, came up through the ranks of doing that, which is something I really want to break down because I don't think people understand just how damn hard it is to come up from youth hockey and just how grueling of a life that is to get to the NHL. You see the glitz and the glamour, but it ain't sweet until you get there. And even then, you still got to be climbing to make it happen. But, you know, I think it's like a trivia fact thing here. You're the first person that grew up in St. Louis to make it to the NHL, which is fucking incredible. I mean, that's crazy that happened. Like, what's that? How do you even get on a path like that? Like, how does that start? Going from growing up in Eureka, beautiful, spacious, luxurious Eureka, Missouri. I'm sorry.
Thank you. God's country.
Where it's always 72.
Are you still in Eureka now, Cam? Are you still in Eureka now, Cam?
Yep.
Eureka may have on the low all the dopest athletes in it because you know Larry Hughes lives in Eureka as well. And you have Nelly. Well, Nelly's in Eureka. Like it per capita.
He used to be.
He used to be. Okay, but per capita.
I used to see him at the fireworks stand all the damn time.
See?
But
per capita, Eureka has all the St. Louis celebrities on the low.
Well, I'll tell you this. No, I'll answer your. But first, I'll pump up. Eureka High School is unbelievable, and they got unbelievable athletes. Everybody, it's such a tight-knit high school. It's fucking awesome, man. And I'm so glad I was a part of that whole thing, although I wasn't because I didn't even go to school really. But how did I get into hockey? Living out there, I got in. My dad took me to a Blues game. My dad took me to a Cardinals game. My dad took me to a football game. I like football. I love watching it with my parents on Sunday. They love it. My parents took me to a baseball game. I was bored to death. I'm sorry. I was bored as a kid because nothing grabbed me and said, look at this. I go to a hockey game. I see fucking Brad Hall cruising around with a fucking mullet, scoring 5 a night. Then I see Tony Twist fist pump somebody so fucking bad and then skate to the box like, blah, and take his jersey off and he's got Tony the Tiger. And I'm like, what the fuck? I go, yeah, I want to be you. I want to be that. And everybody, all the crowd's like, you're awesome. And he just skated around like a bad motherfucker. I'm like, oh my God, that's what I want to do. So that's how I got into hockey. And I didn't start skating. There's no ponds. I started rollerblading in my basement and then rollerblading at parks. And then my dad, I would rollerblade everywhere and just get learn how to skate that way. And then I got into ice hockey, and it just fucking.
I'm glad that you brought up skating, because multiple times I've said, "Hey Cam, I can't skate for shit. Can you give me a couple tips?" And he's like, "Absolutely not."
Yeah, no. So I have a different side of it than Cam. I learned how to rollerblade as well, but I was living on the north side of St. Louis, and I would rollerblade everywhere in my neighborhood. And it didn't work out well for me on a couple occasions trying to rollerblade.
Rollerblading, you're getting away from some shit when you were
exactly.
rollerblading.
No.
Exactly.
But you don't. If you're rollerblading everywhere, you don't have real shoes on. So you're at your friend's house sitting on the porch, and you don't have real shoes on. You just have your socks, and your rollerblades sitting there, and you got to get those on and get loose.
Yeah,
you rollerblade back, baby. You're rollerblading everywhere, and then you take your skate off, and your fucking foot is blistered out the fucking wazoo, and you can't even walk for 2 weeks. Yeah, part of it.
So that's, and all of that. So we're talking about that. You start playing juniors. So we're at about what, 2000 right now, 99, like right in that area, 97, 98. What's that time frame look like for you?
I'll explain. So I started rollerblading, played roller hockey. Became an athlete by playing every other sport: baseball, soccer, wrestling, all that, everything. I played everything. Became an athlete, loved hockey, got into it because of the Blues. Then my dad got me into ice hockey. Then that's when I never played a year without hitting. I always played up a couple of years because I became pretty good real fast, and I was strong, and I was kind of mature, not mentally, but physically mature at a young age, like fighting my brother's friends, like confident. So it just went boom, boom, boom. Started playing AAA hockey. Then I got noticed. So every time we played AAA hockey, which this is where my parents went fucking broke because it was so expensive. No team wanted to come down and play the AAA Blues here because we weren't established. So they're like, why the fuck are we paying money to come down there? You need to come up to Canada and play us. You're not deserving. So every weekend, and it costs out the shit. My mom's like, oh, you're going on another weekend trip with Cam to my dad. My dad didn't see my mom on the weekends. It was kind of tough, man. Not that that's that tough. Don't get me wrong. But in the sporting world, for where I had to come, like it's pretty tough.
I mean, especially at that time. But like now, it's nothing for people doing these travel teams for all kind of sports. But
they're all sponsored now.
Yeah, but back then, being on a travel team was like, no, this coming out your pocket. It's not like a
fuck yeah. and then the coaches would bring on the dipshit fourth line kid that was so bad, but his mommy and daddy had money. His mommy and daddy had money.
They paid for the bus.
There it is. This a dipshit. Oh, fuck. And we're like, this fucking kid. But then I'd go up to these tournaments and play against these superstar kids that are all in the NHL. And all of a sudden, a scout would come watch the Toronto Marlies team, but they were playing us. So they didn't give a fuck about us. But then I'd go out there and I'd just kill guys and score a nice goal and then be, flamboyant, like fuck. And they're like, who the fuck is this, kid from where, Eureka? Like, okay. And then all these agents started coming up to my dad and started getting a lot of attention. So that's how I did started. And then juniors is a different story. Juniors is when you can start fighting and stuff. This is when I was like 10, 11, 12, 13, found an agent.
Oh, you can start fighting at 13 in a game?
No, I did when I was 15. I made juniors at a young age. 15, yeah. Well, 13 and 15 are a big difference. Well, yeah. 13 years old, 15's you're a lot more mature.
And also at that time that we're talking about too is that there weren't, like, Eureka didn't have a high school hockey team. Like you're doing all of this stuff and you're having to live like two lives at one time. Like you're here kinda, but then that picks up and you're a mid-teenager already with a career that you're working on.
Yeah, and then my buddies here were like, what are you doing? You're playing hockey? Oh, cool, okay. And then I had my hockey buddies. But, it wasn't, okay. My parents are middle class, House Springs, Eureka people. They don't have connections anywhere. All these agents and scouts are looking at my mom and dad like, they're not like buttoned up. They're not fucking, I didn't have the edge. They didn't have money. So this was like, you're all in or you're not. My parents didn't have a backup plan for me. What am I going to take the fucking waterproofing business over? I saw my dad drag that motherfucking thing out 110 degrees and spray black. No way in hell. So, they just believed in me, man. And I had so much confidence from my dad, like honest confidence. Like, oh, fuck. I felt like I could fucking rule the world because of him. Not too much. Put me in my place when I need to. But he built confidence in me, man. And that is what took off from me.
Well, your dad's an awesome dude. I mean, the couple of times I met him, I remember when we surprised you with the St. Louis Hockey Hall of Fame thing, and they came up to when we were doing the show. the holiday party, I think. I think that the day that all of that stuff happened, we surprised you up there. They came up and we're really excited about that. Yeah, you can tell there are people that really, gave it all for moments like that. So it's a big payoff for that. But, so you go 117 in the 02 draft, and that is, that's a big thing, no matter what, how you started to rise up from a place that nobody's looking for hockey talent at all. But to do that, you go 117 right there. And then your life just goes in a completely different direction because now you're going off to play juniors, and you're what, 17?
Well, I played juniors at 15, 16 in St. Louis, and then I got drafted into the Ontario Hockey League at 16, 17. So I had to move here to play in Windsor with an 85-year-old billet family that couldn't control me. Their fucking life depended on it. And I played one. So the best league in the hockey league in the world. Found there's a weird, somebody called somebody and said, take a look at this kid from Eureka, and it happened, and they took a chance and they drafted me in the OHL, and then I played a year, and then that was my draft year, and I led the league in fights, and I just fucking put a goddamn show on, and I got drafted in Toronto with my parents and everybody there, man, and it was fucking awesome. It was awesome. I thought I was going second round, but I went fourth round, but whatever.
So how much do you think about like how you started up and where you came from? Just kind of, I'd say maybe frame the way that you played, because I mean, for people that don't know, I'll say this for black people right away. They say, man, I hope they have a fight at this joint.
No, you're the last to know because his position is gone though now, almost in NHL.
Pretty much.
Well, yeah, and that's where I want to kind of get to with that, but like kind of the road to getting to that part, because even the guys that are banging heads, at some point, we're putting the biscuit in the basket, too. Yeah. They were putting the puck on. You got to have skill to play in NHL. It's not just being a boxer on skates. You got to be able to play. And so, like, how much do you think about the fact that you came from that, blue-collar, super blue-collar background? You had that natural, like, tenacity for that, fueled you into saying that I'm going to become an enforcer when I get in here. I'm going to be a guy that's going to bang heads and do what I need to do. Like, how much did that fuel into how your outlook was when you started playing?
I never even thought about being an enforcer. I just played the way my emotions let me play. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to fucking rock guys, man. And then I wanted to play fearless. So when I was a kid, with these teams that you try out for, which I never really not made a team, to be honest with you, except for Team Quebec because there's no hitting up in that tournament. But other than that, my dad would – these teams would send you a little thing and you'd fill it out. How's your son did? And this is such fucking just stupid. And my dad would put, give me some qualities on your son or whatever. He would always put fearless. And no one else is saying that. He's a good, no, fucking fearless. And I was. And I always had that in my head. So I'm 5'11", man. Like I'm not, so most enforcers are 6'6" Reed Lowe's, Maddie. Or, you know what I'm talking, the monsters. And they're like, I don't know what to do. Oh, I need to fight to stay in it. I was a 5'11", fucking in 3/4. Wanting it. I liked it. I wanted to fight. That was my personality. And then I was able to just do that with hockey. So no one ever had to tell me to do it. I didn't do it because I was 6'5". I did it because I was a fucking killer from the get-go.
Do you think that the enforcer thing changed with the Marty McSorley situation? Do you think that's where is that the tipping point where kind of, or did the game change, or was that thing where like, okay, we can't be having fucking around with y'all having goons out there.
That was explain that Marty McSorley situation for people that don't know.
Donald Brashear, who was very, very tough, big lefty.
What's even crazier though? So you ever seen the movie Men of Honor? That's his great uncle in the movie Men of Honor, where the deep diver. That's his great uncle.
Dude, he's working at Tim Hortons right now, and he's not doing well.
I know, but that's his uncle. Is the guy that was in Men of Honor. That was the first black underwater sea diver. That's his great uncle, our grandfather, one of them.
So he's Quebec Canadian, because I think
his family moved. Part of his family moved to Quebec or whatever. That's why I think it's his uncle. I don't think that's, but it's a direct relation to him, though. I know that.
Oh, he's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
6'4", fucking mean.
He's a big ass
fucking. So he beat up Marty McSorley, who was like one of the king gods of the league. Stuck out for Gretzky, won Stanley Cups. McSorley lost his mind. Lost his shit. I've talked to him personally about this, by the way.
But McSorley had a nice little slap shot, though, too, didn't he?
He was good. He was a defenseman. He was just tough, and he protected Gretzky. And, he just was – he had long hair. He was L.A., Hollywood scene. Like, he was just real popular. but he lost his mind on Brash, and he just fucked up, man. He used a stick. That had nothing to do with hockey being settled. Nothing to do with that. That was a weird incident that sucked. He used a weapon to hurt you. It wasn't a fist. It wasn't anything like that. So it had nothing to do with fighting. But I get what you're asking that for. What happened with fighting is, it's when I started playing in 04, they took the hooking and clutching out of the league. It worked for me because I was able to skate. I didn't just go out there and fight. Like, it didn't work anymore. Even in my era, you needed to do something. I needed to get the puck. I was a hitter more than anything. I crushed guys, and then I'd be like, let's fucking go. So I needed to hit consistently. So the fighting came out because it's just, there's not that many guys now growing up that have that killer and are really, really good that can keep up with the pace. Does that make sense? So they're just getting weeded out. Fighting's still there. You can still crush each other. Look at the fucking playoffs last year when Sammy Blay and all those guys were rocking everybody. It's just hard to find a guy that can put it together and has that motherfucking killer
and
Tom Wilson.
Is it also a thing of everybody kind of wants their shine? Like, I want to get my points. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, but if you get points and you're tough, your contract's doubling. Oh God, yeah. Everybody wants to have a tough player and skill. That's like the ultimate everything.
Off the top, who is your top 3 points and beat 'em up guys that you just know offhand? That you think like they get them points and they will whoop your ass.
Oh shit! All right, Tom Wilson's the one in the league right now.
Okay,
handsome bugger too. He's got a girlfriend. We interviewed him the other day. I'm like, howdy, why? You're 24 years old. You just signed for $35 million, and you have a girlfriend. Okay, okay. She's a great gal. I'm sorry. I'm just. Anyway.
But you're saying the semantics. You're just looking at the semantics.
I'm just saying, like, God, go enjoy your life, dude, for a little bit, and then anyway, whatever. But right now he's a big guy. But there's a ton over the years, man. A ton of guys that played. But let me rephrase that question for you. Who's the biggest, toughest motherfuckers ever? You want to know who they're straight up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's do it. We do it for basketball and football.
For the killers of the league were Tony Twist, Bob Probert, Ty Domi, Derek Bugard, God rest your soul. He was in my era, 6'9", could knock you. He threw so hard, he crushed orbital bones. He knocked 13 guys out in a row. 13. You couldn't do anything.
What was his nickname?
You couldn't do anything. Boogeyman. Oh my God. Isn't that horrifying?
That's just like an elite nickname that more people need to know about. That's
because you can't do. He's so big, you can't do it. He's just going to string you out, and he's going to come from downtown. He's not going to punch you, Maddie. He's going to punch through you. That sets your ass back. I know. Jesus Christ.
So if you were thinking about those guys that are doing that, Daryl, I'll throw you a couple guys out there, and Cam, you can correct me, of course. I would say tough guys that got numbers. I would say guys that jump out to me are Eric Lindros and Cam Neely.
Cam Neely, oh yeah, hell yeah, absolutely.
Big dudes that just were about that action. Cam Neely did a little bit of everything.
Oh yeah, and he was on Dumb and Dumber as Seabass. You ever see that movie? You know what I'm talking about? That goofy ass movie. Yeah.
I'm just not a big Eric Lindros fan, man. I just remember. I remember I traded like 3 quality Pinnacle cards for him right when he came out. So and then he never materialized. And I felt like I had traded on my team literally for him. And and that friend of mine is my friend to this day. He was like, "Hey man, do you remember when you traded me?" I don't even want to tell y'all who the other 3 people were.
No, you got to do it now. Let's go. Wait a minute. Was Cam one of the cards that you traded?
No. This is in 95. No, 94.
Dude,
93, 94.
He was the biggest. Wait. He was the biggest player ever.
Yes.
One of the big. So his card now is so big still. Dude, he was.
Not the other people that I gave up.
I think who's it, Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux or something?
No. I gave up Pavel Bure's card.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay. Now I get it.
Now you see what I get it. The thing was, I had a duplicate of this card though too. So I was like, it was like,
then fuck him. Okay.
The Eric Lindros, it was just the fact that I saw Eric Lindros just keep tanking and just going down.
Well, he got rocked, dude. You
think that's what it is? So okay, break that down. I want to hear this.
So here's about Eric Lindros. He was a monster, handsome, 6'5", could skate. Like the next Wayne Gretzky.
He was LeBron James, right? He was LeBron James of hockey, right?
There it is, right there. He's LeBron. He was LeBron James, 18-year-old kid coming in like a fucking monster, crushing guys. Like, but you know what he did? He didn't, in juniors, he didn't go play for Sault Ste. Marie because he didn't want to drive that far. So he fucked over Sault Ste. Marie, which is in the OHL, same league I played in. Then Quebec Nordiques were going to draft him. I don't want to play. And then he didn't play for him. So he was he fucked himself so bad because he knew how big he was. And now he's fucking over organization. I'm not playing for you. And what happened in Quebec Nordiques? Remember that?
They trade moved.
for They moved to Colorado. Then what happened? They fucking win a Stanley Cup.
Oh, yeah, no,
they
had Joe Sakic. That's when they had, like, Joe Sakic.
Yes.
They had the whip. Yeah, they were real.
So they got all those guys because of Lindros. So my point is,
they got those guys in that trade for Lindros?
Yes, look that trade up.
So hold up. So Forsberg, Sakic, all those were in. Wow, Simon, I never realized that.
Oh, craziness. Maybe I don't think. Okay, maybe Sakic wasn't, but there was a lot of guys. I mean, it was and then plus.
But like Sakic was on the Nordiques though before they moved. I know that.
Yeah, Sakic was already there, and he's a leader. But Lindros kind of just put himself behind the eight ball. Everybody hated him because he's like sitting out. He jinxed himself, dude. In the hockey world like that, when you fucking you screw over two organizations, one in the minors that everybody knows about, who Tony Esposito owned, or Phil Esposito, who's one of the old school legends of hockey. You fuck him, and then you tell the Nordiques you don't want to go there. Everybody thinks it's because they're French and you don't want to speak French and what the fuck ever. And, so everybody fucking hates you. And then you get rocked. Then he had his head down so much because he's so big that he's used to just like bulldozing guys. But then when you get in the NHL, baby, there's hard-hitting sons of bitches. And they caught that motherfucker. And he got buckled, and he got buckled, and he got buckled, and he's got concussion problems, and he still has to deal with it now.
He was the JD Drew of hockey. He was the guy that just leveraged his way out of a great situation and tossed to another one.
He's still a Hall of Famer, guys, though. Remember that? He's still a Hall of Famer.
Is Eddie Lindros a Hall of Famer, though? Is he?
Oh, hell yes, he is. Oh, look at his numbers. Hell yeah. He was the most dominant player for 7 years. I swear to God. He was so dominant, dude.
Yeah.
He just has a bad reputation because of what he did and he getting knocked out and shit. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. Top 100 ever.
So speaking of Hall of Famers, you landed up in New Jersey. You get started up in New Jersey, and I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this guy. I don't know. I've barely heard of him. But you've got at least one Hall of Famer that you're sitting in front of after that, and that's Martin Brodeur. So
don't know who he is. No.
So you get to the league, and we've had a couple people on here that played in the league, done different things. But what's it like landing in the NHL? Like, what's that first day in, and you're just like, holy shit, what's going on here?
Well, you got to think. I played in juniors. I got to do whatever the fuck I wanted. I became really popular really fast. They signed me. I get drafted. They signed me to couple $100,000 at 18 years old, which is not that much, but at the time when you're from Eureka, you got to put everything in perspective. Mm-hmm. I'm from Eureka, I don't have money, and all of a sudden I get coin and a lot of attention in juniors. I'm driving around a fucking huge SUV at high school in Windsor that no one has don't even have their license there, and I'm rolling around like a fucking. So I'm so confident I'm beating the fuck out of everybody because they're my age. So I have all this confidence, like, well, fuck it. Then I go to the big club when I'm 18 years old in training camp, and I see fucking Scotty Stevens walking around with no fucking shirt on. I'm like, oh, Jesus, fuck. Then I see fucking Christoph Oliwa, big, bad motherfucker that knocks guys out. I'm like, God, now I'm playing against men. I'm beating up the same age. So what? You beat up guys your own age at that age? Fuck you. That's fine. Done with it. That's why you got drafted. That's why you signed. Now what? Now I'm with the big boys. So I had to readjust my strategy, everything, the speed, my timing on my passes, getting the puck out of the zone, my timing on my hits, the fights where I'm fighting guys that are 32 years old that been through fucking hell and back with fucking, and they throw both hands and they're 240 pounds and they know how to deal with. So I had to readjust everything, man. You're beating up guys in juniors because I was strong as shit, and everybody was so terrified of me that even if they probably could have fought me good there, but they're so scared that they just didn't. But not in the big boy club. Now you're dealing with men that don't give a fuck, and you have to readjust that. So it was definitely a wake-up call, but I figured it out.
So what's it like that? So what's it like that first time that you're like, all right, it's time to go? Like, do you remember your first fight in the league?
Who it was and everything.
Actually, you got to think though. Right when training camp starts, we start playing like scrimmages. I'm fighting 3 times a fucking day, every day for 4 weeks before we even get to preseason games. So it's like I had but I think my first NHL cool fight was against Riley Cote, maybe, from Philly, toe-to-toe, center eye, fucking bam, bam, bam. You know, the crowd just in Jersey, man, they're again, hardworking people. They love all those, you saw all those Jersey guys. Everybody thinks they're tough. Everybody's
oh, yeah, no,
tough.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you guys know what I'm talking about. You see it. And when they see somebody that actually does that, like, they fucking love it. Sopranos was going on at the time. Everybody's hard fucking core. And then I got this, this kid coming in. And so they love that, my style so much. But yeah, man, I started really beating guys up. I don't think I lost a fight for like at least 3 or 4 months coming in. Because we're playing the right teams that, it just worked out that way. But then you start dealing with the big heavies from a different conference. They're like, okay, I started taking my losses. But yeah, man, no, it fucking came so fast, dude. It really, really did.
I mean, but when you're getting to a fight in the league, like, what's it really play out like? Could you see that same guy and be like, oh, what's up, man? Or is it like sometimes it really carries over? It's real life?
Never, ever, ever, ever carried over to anything. I don't even have to be mad to go toe-to-toe with you. It's a light switch, dude. I knew some of these guys because I played against them in juniors all the time. They're fucking awesome. I partied with them. They're fucking cool as shit. And I'm like,
that's right, weird though, Cam. That's weird that they had to flip that. Because if I had a fight with somebody, like it's on site afterwards too. Like we're not done. Like I'm gonna see you, and my boys is in the crowd too. They gonna see you too, and they gonna.
Yeah, you're not making a living fighting the people you're fighting, though. That's a different thing.
But maybe people should take a note off of this.
That's a very good point.
And look at it and like, I'll fucking go toe-to-toe with you trying to kill each other. Like, I'm not just like, oh, no, I'm trying to hit you so hard in your chin to where I knock you out. Because if I knock you out, it amplifies my status. Like, fuck yeah, now I'm the bad. You're trying to kill each other. But then afterwards, like, fucking right, good job, buddy. Hey, right, what are we doing tonight? You staying over? You staying in St. Louis tonight?
Wow.
All right, let's go. I know. I think people should look at that and be like, if you have a beef with somebody, it's not like, oh, I'm going to get – no, it's like, I fucked up, you fucked up. We kicked the shit out of each other. Right on, hit the rock. All right, we're good. I don't know.
So you just transitioned. You just touched on a piece that I actually wanted to get to anyway. So you're 21, 22 right now. I'm not being off the ice. That's a life right there, baby. We talked about it before.
Now, this is something I've always wanted to know. Piggybacking off you, Matt. What does the draft look like for the NHL draft at the outside?
We're not talking about players. We're talking about when the game is over. What's that
right.
draft?
No. I'm talking about the draft night. Like, is it like, because I know, like, people I know that have been drafted, they were like, man, like, I literally, like, my life, literally, I walked out the door and it was totally different. NHL is a lot different because if you're not in the first round, obviously, do you get that same kind of feel, or is it, what is that feeling with people when it comes to being drafted? Is the group sitting there like, I'm there? Is it the managers and all the financial advisors sitting there like, I can manage your money. I got you,
Dude, I'm from Eureka, Missouri. I'm in fucking Toronto. I meet with 26 teams. I think I'm going second round. I got my agent, got my bill, got my mom and dad, I have a suit on that has cigarette holes in my crotch. Don't ask me how the fuck that happened. I don't know what the fuck.
Before.
I'm losing my mind. I feel like I'm sick. And here's another thing that happened. I'm sitting next to another player that I play with in juniors, right? So when they announce your name, they go, okay, from the Windsor Spitfires, da-da-da. Just like in college when they do, hold on, sorry, boys. When they pick up, they say from da-da-da-da-da, whatever. So I'm sitting next to this kid, 6'3", long-haired, fucking strong, big pussy, though. Big pussy. Never made it. So we're sitting there, And also the Devils come up, and I knew the Devils were on me. I knew Lou Lamoriello. I made them laugh. I knew it. I knew that they scouted me. I knew they had scouts in Windsor watching me. I just knew that the classiest organization in the league wanted me, and I knew that was happening. So every time they kept picking guys in the first, second, third round, I'm like, fuck, it was just horrible. So third round comes up, and they go from the Windsor Spitfires, and me and my dad jump up and go, fuck yeah, Aaron Niddle. The kid sitting right next to me. It was so and we're like, oh, good job, Mitzi. Oh, yeah, good job. We're like, fuck. I look at my agent. I'm like, you mother. I'm like, hey, lose me. Why am I mad at my agent? Nothing to do with anything. So then the fourth round comes, 117, and they pick me. By the way, the draft picks that the Devils picked before me, none of them fucking played. What a waste.
Really?
Bunch of Russian guys. I hurt one guy.
So they basically, were they stashing them basically over in Russia? Were they trying to stash them?
Hold on. They just fucked up. They just fucked up.
You heard one of the guys that got drafted in front of you in camp?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
He was a pussy. Dude, some of these, look, when you draft Europeans and some of the Russians, sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. They're all really good. They're all unbelievably skilled. So, but some of them don't even care to come over here because you can make money over there. So you're gambling sometimes when you draft, especially even like 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So they drafted like 3 Russians in a row, and they just – I remember them walking in, and like they just were just loud, and Lou just hated that. And they all probably could have made it, but you got to have like the killer in you, dude, because everybody's good in the NHL. So they just hit. It's just tough to scout, but they fucked up on that draft. So to see all these guys drafted in front of me, and they never even made it, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good feeling or a bad feeling, but I felt like I had to share it for you.
So 2 years in Jersey. I'm gonna turn this thing around real quick. All right, turn this thing around real quick for this next part. And then
there you go.
and then, I mean, you come home. Of all the things that people talk about in sports, they talk about people playing at home. Everybody wants to do that. What's the real dope on when you get an opportunity to come home and play in front of your hometown fans? Because you came and you spent the next 4 years of your career with the St. Louis Blues.
Well, I was going through a weird time, and because the reason why I got traded is because I got injured. I probably should have had surgery after my first year because I was fighting real tall guys, and my shoulder kept popping out a little bit, you know? And so I just didn't do it. And I come into training camp, and I knew something was wrong, and I'm so fucking dumb, but it worked out. So I go into training camp, first preseason game. We're playing Flyers, Devils, Flyers. It's a fucking 10 tough guys on each fucking team. Like, you know it's going to be a battle, okay? And so I go out there. I knew my shoulder was a little weak. You know when you hurt your shoulder, Matt, you want to throw that pitch, and that shoulder kind of sub-blocks a little bit, and you're like, ooh. You're like, what the fuck? But I'm so stubborn. I go out there, and I fight somebody, and it didn't go well. I didn't have my strength, but it didn't go well. But I still need to prove myself. So I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to go him again. So I go him again, and I throw a punch. My shoulder gets popped out. I'm out for 5 months. Grinding, horrible. Just like, dude, whatever. Getting addicted to painkillers. Like, just, yeah, not good stuff. Had money, get addicted to painkillers, and have no guidance at 22 years old is not a good thing. I know it's still a fantasy life. Don't feel sorry for me. But it wasn't healthy to have a 20 anyway. So I'm out.
But we talked about that before, though, because I mean, that's something that we've talked about with the whole thing about when you're living the life, you're going 100 miles an hour, and you're coming from 100 miles per hour, maybe on a light day is what you're doing. But you come from that background, man, and you've really got to get to a point where you're like, I got to either get up to speed or this thing's gonna pass by me, and that's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, dude. Well, when you get injured like that, and you're out for 4 or 5 months, like you're just, again, your bank account's building up, and you're bored, and you want to go do things, and you're just not in the hockey mode that you need to be in, and it was just tough, man. But I did as much like stuff. I went to Lou Lamoriello when I got injured. I'm like, I know I'm out for a while. Set me up with these autograph sessions so I could like mix in with the fans and stuff. And that didn't pay me. I just did that just so I could build a fan base up there, and it worked. So at the end of that, Lou calls me down 5 months into this. I'm good. I'm ready, healthy, but they already have their team in place. They're in first place. I have no chance to make the lineup. So Lou did me a favor. Lou Lamoriello, GM of the Devils, did me a favor, and he traded me to my hometown for Bryce Salvador, who was up on his contract and was leaving anyway. So I got traded for Bryce Salvador, who was a future captain for the Devils anyway. But right when that happened, man, like, man, you're playing for your hometown, dude. I'm lucky I'm still alive, to be completely honest with you. I'm lucky I'm still alive. But it was the best thing possible for me in my second. Because if you play for the Devils, no one in St. Louis gives a shit about you. You got to play for your hometown team, man. So this set me up for life after hockey like no other.
I see what you're saying, like
I did
on the
my
back
shit.
end.
Yeah,
on
dude.
the back end of life.
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude.
Well, because that run that you had there, obviously, towards the end of your NHL run, at least you went back to Jersey. So I mean, I think it's awesome that you had a chance to have that closure. But you came to the, you came to the Blues at a time when the Blues had been Blues. The Blues we all grew up with. The super studs, the Brett Hulls, the Adam Oates, the Curtis Josephs, all those guys. But the Choppers, Al McInnes, all those guys. But the Blues were going through a period of probably, I think, in their history, probably the biggest turnover they've ever had. So you were here with, another number one guy in Eric Johnson. It was crazy to see the Blues get the number one pick, but they're here with that. You got young guys like TJ Oshie that were there at the same time. All of you guys are, younger guys in your careers, but you're also going through the ringer of, at that particular time, the Blues were rebuilding. Cardinals are on top of the world, but you're still sitting there and you're having to pick your own way into the city at that time, and that's got to be a challenge to go through that angle.
And it's not because you didn't play high school here either. It's not like you had the high school thing of like, oh, we remember seeing him play at Parkway North or or somewhere like that where you saw him play.
Exactly. No, my buddies didn't even know what the fuck I was doing when I was living in Canada. So I brought home. I used to take all the notes that the girls would keep on my car, and I'd collect them, all the crazy notes from girls, and I'd bring them home and show all my buddies, like, this is what I'm doing up there. And I'm playing, and they're like, oh, now I kind of get, they had no idea about anything. But once you get traded here, you're in front of everybody's eyes, man. And the Blues at that time, it was a perfect situation for me personally. We get all these stud kids, David Perron, Osh, EJ, all those big dogs. And the Blues spent so much money on marketing that year. And I did so much shit around the city, not just from them, but people asking me to do so many things because they're from here and you're doing this, you're doing that. And I took advantage of it. I never said no to anybody. And I look back on it now and I'm like, thank God I was like that, because it just boosted my shit for now. Like, I know, everybody now, but I wasn't doing it then just to set myself after hockey. I wasn't even thinking that way. I just wanted to get out and about and talk to people because I was kind of proud of my situation, and I like it. I'm a social fucking butterfly.
And so like around that time, is that when it really kind of struck that you were the first guy that made it out of St. Louis for the league and came back in? Or is it just kind of something that built up over time?
No, right when I got called up with my parents for the first game, when they're in New York with me, and I got the call to get called up to play the Rangers. That's when I knew.
By the way, your first game of your career is in Madison Square Garden.
I know. I got rocked first shift through by Darius Paridis, big tough Russian. He caught me. I'm like, do I go crazy on him? I go, do I go beat the fuck out of him and get a 2-5 and 10? Like, no. Be calm, Cam. Be calm. And I played next shift, and I caught him. Next shift, come around the net, and then that's how you do it, man. So everything worked out, but it wasn't all easy. Everything negative that came in that everything that negative happened to me in hockey was because of me. I look back on it now, every time I sat out, all the shit that I got into, the money I spent, the addiction I got into with different shit was all because of me. Just so everybody knows, though, hockey saved my life.
I mean, because it's a big life to take on. And I think that's the most thing that gets the most underrated about pro athletes, just period, is people at extraordinarily young ages that don't have any doors that are getting closed in their face for much of anything. And you're like, go figure it out. And you're popping between two different countries. You're in a different town every third night. I mean, it's just a lot to take on. Because when you look at like baseball, they're in 2 cities a week probably. The NHL, the NFL, they're not even out on the town when they're on the road. They're in or they're out there back home. But in the NBA and the NHL, fast, and you're in a lot of different places. Both 82-game seasons, a fucking playoff run, stuff like that. And then you do all of that before you get to the summer, And it's like, oh shit, now I'm really gonna have some time now. That's a tough life.
Oh, the summer times, man. When I played here, I would take care of all my buddies, dude. Like, I would make, I would bring 30 people into Harry's, and then like get it, in my little bubble, I was trying to just fucking. None of my buddies were making money at the time. None of them. We're 23, 24. They're fucking broke, miserable. I just lived I was able to, 18, start making money and feel like no. So I just took care of everybody, man. Like, get in a limo, let's go. Oh, the limo's breaking down because we're so packed in here that it's fucking sparking. Oh, call another one. Jed Limousine, where you at? Let's go. We're all going back to my house. I had my own house at 19. The neighbors moved out when I was living with my parents, and I bought the house right next to them at 19 years old, and everybody was with my mom and dad.
Was that a good idea to move in next to your parents, though?
What the fuck are they going to do? They live right next to me. What are they going to do? I owned my parents since I was like fucking 13. Trust me. They had no control over me. They had no control over me. None.
Now, this is the question.
Start making money.
Now, Cam, this is one of those Matt. I don't know if you know where I'm gonna go. You already said going to Harry, so you know I'm gonna go with this probably. The intermingling of athletes within a club social setting situation. How does this go? Like, so do hockey players have the thing of like NFL, NBA entertainers where they basically would tell us like, hey, the basketball players they would have more beef with them because people would know what they look like, so that they would have to outshine the basketball players when they would see them out at a venue.
Let me break it down. I'll break it down.
Okay.
When you're a basketball player, you walk in, everybody knows who you are.
Yep.
No matter where you're at. I don't care if they know who you are. You're 6'8" and you look like you're carved out of a statue. You're something. Hockey players are so witty and funny with girls. It is because we would walk into different cities and we'd have all Hugo Boss stuff on, looking sharp, and then we'd all have cuts. I'd have a cut over my eye. My hands are bleeding. I got a cut right here, and girls would look at us, and we're all like looking sharp, looking good, but we have cuts on our faces. They're like, who? And we're spending money. Who the fuck are these guys? And then oh my god! And every hockey guy they know how to talk to girls, man. Like they just know how to. They're just everybody's on the same page. It was so fun. But in St. Louis, dude, you walk in, everybody knows who you are, man. Like everybody did. And I always brought my buddies out. We'd always set up a nice table. We'd always want good-looking girls around us because you look cooler when you got good-looking chicks around you, man.
Yeah, of course.
And then good-looking girls want to see you with good-looking girls, and then they want to come over and hang out with you because you're hanging out with good-looking girls. We had so much fun. It was hard to not have fun, man. Meaning, you can go on a Tuesday night. I know exactly where to fucking go on a Tuesday night 10 years ago. I'll go that place, that place, that place. So when you're single and you're playing in your hometown and you're a social butterfly, it was, man, we partied hard, dude.
So you mean unlike when you're at an English-Russian soccer game and there's 100,000
dudes.
Guys.
Nightmare.
So I had a good time after my English Premier League game. I had a good time.
He loves it.
You have a good time anytime you can drink in public.
There you go. No. That was a major part of it was just drinking and hanging out. And really the main thing was people did not know how to really talk to me because I'm a black guy at an EPL game. And they're like, okay, I don't know like what he's really here doing because I went by myself. So like I got a VIP ticket. I'm there by myself. I know the game. I got a Man U shirt on. So obviously I'm a fan. And they were like, and people were looking at me. And then one guy comes up. He's like, I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan. That's how he started the conversation.
Well, dude, I remember playing over there. Dude, and it might be different for me, man, because I played for the team that I lived in Nottingham. They treated us so good over there, man. But
Nottingham, I heard, is a nice little venue to watch games though.
Fucking awesome.
I'm glad you brought that up because now you're talking to the sheriff of Nottingham here.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, when we started our show, we had 300 subscribers from Nottingham in like a day. And I was like, what the hell is happening here? And he had explained to me back in the days when he was chasing Robin Hood around Nottingham and taking money from the people that were over there.
Well, I went over there because I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. And I had I couldn't. It was just so I was in a weird spot, and people kept calling me and saying, "You got to go play over in this English league, man. They want you. It's so fun over there. The guys are awesome. You're traveling around Great Britain. The longest drive is 8 hours to Scotland, which is fucking beautiful. And I went over there and I thought I was going to be just toe dragging guys and dangling. But I went over there and they pumped me up so much. And I just put a show on for everybody, man. And Kate and I walked around, talked to all the fans, would go do this and just signings and just, they treated us like fucking royalty, man. And no pun intended, but they honestly did. But I went out there and fought. Oh God, I'd fucking kill guys and fight and stick up my teammates and do all, you know, just put a show on, because that's what it is over there. I mean, it's different than the NHL. It's you know, it's not as serious. So it is serious, but it's not. But it just was so fun, dude. Honestly, it was so fun. And I'll show you this, like, you know, like they make little signs for you right there. Chat rush, get Cam, baby. You're gonna get cammed, I know. But yeah, no, they were great, man. It was awesome over there.
So I got to ask you the question that we ask, that we've asked a lot of folks when they've come on. We speculated it on our own. Give me your 2 or 3 best cities to visit in the NHL. And then
great question, man.
A couple that you're just like, I don't want to ever go to that place again in my life if I can avoid it.
Anytime you're in the city in New York, it is what it is. But you never stay in the city because it's too much of a pain in the ass. So when you're on the road, you play with Jersey and the Islanders, but you're staying in Jersey because it's easier to just get around so you're not stuck in a city. So we never really got I lived in Jersey, so I had to party in the city. But Chicago, man. You're in Chicago, you stay right downtown, right at I think it's a Sutton place, right by Hugo Frog's bar.
Yeah,
right?
Sutton. Yes, the Sutton, yeah.
Viagra Triangle with cougars, 35 to 45-year-old women, just divorced their nerdy-ass rich husband, and then a bunch of fucking hockey players walk in and their fucking cuts over their eye. That place was fun. When you're single and you're playing against the Blackhawks and you're cruising around town, yeah, those old cougs want to hang out with you. That place is cool. Montreal. Why is there so many beautiful women in Montreal? I don't know.
Montreal.
But they're all gorgeous. They are all fashionably fucking on point. Their accent. So I'm looking at it like a party, if you're single, kind of atmosphere. Montreal.
That's where
Chicago,
we all want to live. It's good.
Vancouver.
What's the worst 2 cities? What's the worst 2?
Ottawa. You're in the middle of fucking nowhere. The rink is in the middle of nowhere. The rink wasn't that nice. There's nobody anyway. You're not downtown Ottawa. You can't mingle with anybody. You're just fucking stuck out in the middle of nowhere. Then it's another.
Can I guess the second one before you say it? Can I guess the second one? Because I think you told me this before. Edmonton.
I heard Edmonton's a sleeper though. I heard Edmonton's a sleeper town. I was going to ask you about Edmonton because I've heard people say they had a good ass time at Edmonton on the low.
So, if you're a hockey guy and you're in Canada, you get attention. Now, the reason why I don't like Ottawa is because you're in the middle of fucking nowhere. But when you play Edmonton, you're right downtown. So if you want to go places, although there's no places to really go to in Edmonton, and when you walk off the bus, your snot from your fucking nose freezes and your eyelashes freeze, and you look like a fucking dipshit. So no one even takes you serious. So you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Seriously, it's so fucking cold. It's so miserable. So yeah, Edmonton's not good. Vancouver, on the other hand, it's always kind of mild, and they got cool places to party. That's
what about Winnipeg?
Oh, Jesus.
No. What's so bad about Winnipeg is they sent all those black players from the Atlanta Thrashers to Winnipeg, and they sold the team to Winnipeg and sent all those black players. They had like 7 black players on that Atlanta Thrashers team and sent them to Winnipeg.
I know. And they're like, what the fuck am I doing here? They're all partying in Atlanta, doing their shit.
Yeah, you easily recruit me there.
And they're like, oh, you're going to Winnipeg. Oh, cool, yay. Winnipeg, dude, I tell you this. It's so gray and kind of dark, even throughout the daytime. It's so miserable looking. And the people there are great. We fine, I get it. But in the wintertime, it's miserable, man. Like, you can't even walk down the street. I got these fucking $300 fucking shoes on with no traction on them. You try to go to Tim Hortons down the road, you fucking blow a tire and you crack your head open. Now I got a concussion without even fighting that night. Fuck that place.
So
what's a sleeper city though? What's a sleeper city though, Cam? Where someone like, I wouldn't think I would have had a good time there, but I did.
Anytime you go down to Scottsdale, you're gonna be okay. Yeah, Phoenix area. Like, you're gonna be okay. You know,
no, I mean a place people wouldn't know. Like Scottsdale is known. I mean somewhere you'd be like, man, we had a good time in that city.
Like
but people
Columbus,
wouldn't think
Ohio, or some shit like that.
Right.
No,
good,
I never
one,
had a good
one.
time there. I never had a good time there. I never had a good time in Columbus. Nashville is a different story. Nashville was cool, man. Like, you go down and, you know, it's country. I don't like country music, but there's a cute blonde in every bar that's just sitting there like, and I'm like, oh my God. And there's like beautiful women everywhere. And you're like, okay, like, I like this place. But yeah, man, Denver's always cool because I knew people there, and, you know, go around. Everybody's fucking loosey. It's cool. Denver's cool as shit. But yeah, man, most cities you could find, but Ottawa sucked. Go down to Florida Panthers. You're in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's miserable down there, dude. Fuck that. Let's go down to Miami.
You have a whole thing though, Cam, that seems below the Mason-Dixon shouldn't have a hockey team.
Like Dallas?
I mean, Dallas has enough money too, but I think like Miami, all those, like Tampa, all of them should not have a hockey team.
Tampa packs it in, dude. Tampa packs it in. Now, the Florida Panthers need to figure out their fucking, like, their rink sucks. Their location sucks. Go on the fucking beach. Go downtown Miami and build a rink. Their fan base is terrible. Ottawa's not. I mean, it's not fun, man. There's no. Yeah. The rink sucks. Like, it all comes together. Like, at least down in Nashville, man, they pack it in, dude. Dallas, they want a cup. They pack it in. They make money. Trust me. You can look at the numbers. They.
Would you put a team like in somewhere like Houston or San Antonio? What do you think about like Houston, San Antonio situation?
Houston probably has enough people. I don't think San Antonio. They have the minor league system there, which means nothing. I think Quebec maybe have something. Well, Seattle's getting a team. Seattle's a big hockey.
Right, they're in the next expansion, right? They're in the next expansion, right?
Yeah. And then after that, I don't know. Maybe Toronto gets another team because you know you're going to be successful with that, and it'll be a lot cheaper. Dude, you saying that
Toronto has the opportunity to have two teams?
Yes, absolutely. Dude, you can't buy tickets. You can't buy tickets. Every ticket's sold for the next 3 years in Toronto, dude, unless you're corporate or fucking whatever.
The Maple Leafs are one of the hardest tickets in sports. It's like right up there with the Packers. It's like, it's insane.
I did not know that Toronto was thinking about getting a second team. I did not know that.
They might not be thinking it, but I'm just trying to think of a place that might be able to support it. And that would be the case. Quebec, of course. But as far as in the United States, Seattle's there, and other than that, I don't know if we even need to worry about that right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let Seattle come in and see how that does, and then we'll worry about another Canadian team.
No, I'm saying just move a team. I'm saying move a team.
I say move fucking Florida.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. Where do you move Florida to? That's what I'm asking. Where do you move Florida to?
Quebec.
Move them. Hey, Cam. Let me throw this out there. Then I'll give some solutions to that question. Move them to Kansas City. Give the Blues somebody to beef with here.
I was thinking about
that. Got the facility for it. And I know that the people
they got the Sprint Center. The Sprint Center, yeah.
Yeah, the Sprint Center right there. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the legit. Like, I don't know the numbers, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know what would work. Seattle's gonna work, dude. They do their due diligence. I tell you what, man. The NHL's a fucking well-oiled machine right now, dude. It really is. Like,
they're doing better than baseball right now.
Baseball's doing tough. These guys want to play.
Baseball's about to go on strike.
I know. And how about old boy coming out from fucking the Cubs, and he's just like, we don't make any money. What the fuck you signed for an $8.1 billion TV contract? The fuck are you talking about? The White Sox might be a different story, but you shut the fuck up.
You're fine. You're okay, dude.
WGN's got you forever.
Oh my, 8.1. Am I reading that right, Maddie?
Now the Cubs have their own shit. Like, they're insane.
But I also got to think that there's Cubs fans across the world because of WGN, and there's Braves fans as well because of TBS. Like when they're private, those are only stations that some people could ever see. Period. And see.
I'll tell you this: when I was over in England, I would see Cardinals jerseys, Cubs jerseys, Brady. Who else?
You had to see the Yankees.
Yankees. Oh God, Yankees, Red Sox. But the Cardinals were in the mix. And so are the Cubs.
Cardinals is like, I think that Cardinals is like top 20 apparel of all sports.
Oh, period. Yeah, probably. Period.
So
awesome jerseys.
Daryl, you talked about real quick. You mentioned how there was 7 brothers on the Thrashers when they relocated the team back to Winnipeg. Cam, this is something we talked about before, though. But like, you know, and I definitely want to get your thoughts on the growth of youth hockey here in the St. Louis area. But I've always been of the opinion that if we really, really got hockey into the African American community, you could see some studs come out, some black hockey stars that would bring a whole new wrinkle to the sport that I think is like the last frontier for the NHL in America to really.
I mean, you look at the Seth Jones, Jones brothers, Pac-Man Jones' sons, with Seth Jones and them. They killing it.
Pac-Man Jones' son. That's funny. It's not his son, right? Like, you know that Seth Jones. You talking about Pac-Man?
That's not his son. That's not Pac. I thought it was Pac-Man Jones.
Hell no.
Oh, so he adopted
Columbus?
Yeah,
they're related.
Yeah, that's his dad. No, his dad. That's their dad. It's like two of them. Their dad is Pac-Man Jones that played basketball. That's their dad.
Seth Jones that put.
You're talking about Popeye Jones, not Pac-Man Jones.
Pac-Man, not Pac-Man. I'm sorry, not Pac-Man from Adam. Not Adam. Shoot up the strip club. I mean Popeye Jones. Sorry, you're right.
Okay, yeah.
Not Pac-Man. That's it. No. Because Pac-Man is our age, though. That wouldn't make sense.
What? I go like that wouldn't
even make sense. No. You're right. No.
So. Oh my God, the athletes.
Yeah, Popeye Jones.
Dude, the athletes that can come out of that. Oh my God, yeah. Here's the problem. How do you go into inner cities and say, here, get into hockey? Oh, mom, you got to pay for their equipment? You got to pay for their
say that.
How the hell you want to go play football? Go play football. When you play football, you don't know the game until you get into either middle school or high school, and everybody in that whole high school knows everybody's a football knows football and is a part of the football team, and they just teach you. Where hockey, you just gotta you gotta find your team, where you're playing, then you gotta buy your equipment. Like it's not necessarily a high school sport, which it is, but in the cities it's not. You could play football for free. You can't. It's hard to play hockey for free.
All you need is one football to play in the street. You don't need everybody.
Exactly.
Needs
or
sticks,
basketball.
And so here's the thing. And I'm glad you bring that up because I think that the challenges that you have, equipment sports are harder for people to play.
But then soccer is not an equipment sport though. But it's very expensive.
Hold on. Let me get this thought out though. I think that hockey has some of the same issues that baseball has, as far as baseball wants to reestablish in the inner cities and things like that, whereas hockey has never really had that foothold. And I think they have similar challenges in order to break through. But I think St. Louis has a unique opportunity here with what you're doing with the practice rink out there and with how committed the Blues have been to minor league and to junior hockey. For me, I feel like if any place has the ability to kind of crack through, pardon the pun, to break the ice and to get into that place, St. Louis could potentially do it, especially with a new facility that's opening up.
Yeah, they just got to figure out an easier plan, you know. And it all starts with families taking their kids to games, man. Just like how we all started with everything, Maddie. Like your parents took you to baseball games, and you're like, "Oh my God, I love this!" Like if something grabbed you, and you're like, "I want to be a part of this some way. Either I'm going to play, I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to write about it, or whatever." We have to find that, and if you go to games at Enterprise Center, there's more women. There's groups of like 6 girls there, like 20. Like you're like, oh hell yeah, like girls everywhere, and you see more African Americans there. You do. It's not an easy ticket to get, and it's not an easy sport to get into. But God, the athleticism that can go. Oh my God! So you have to find a way to, you know, my parents didn't have money, and we found a way. I rollerbladed. Now, you know, are you gonna have kids in the inner city rollerblade around? I don't know. I don't know how you.
There was a guy named Daryl Frierson that was rollerblading through your hood.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I'm saying though. Like it's like rollerblading is the cheapest way to play hockey.
Yeah.
Because you have to rent ice, so you just go rollerblade around, stick handle, but you have to be into the sport. So you got to get them into going to Blues games, and I think it's better than it's ever been because you just won the cup, and it's just in your face right there too. So hopefully we see that. But we see girls hockey. Oh my God, I see that big time. So you start with that. We'll see where it goes. But man, oh man, some of those athletes. And they'd be shit kickers too.
Because
imagine some of the shit kickers.
There's a ton of them. I mean, but St. Louis, what was it? 3 years ago, 4 years ago, Cam? We had 5 first-round kids come out of St. Louis? 4 first-round kids?
Dude, we're tons.
Now you look at like kids, both all-stars. You know, you've got Keller that's still, you know, blowing up, doing his thing. You know, St. Louis certainly has a pathway to be a place that could happen. So I hope. And I would love to do anything that I can do to help, you know, open that pathway to get those kids out there, get an opportunity to just see the sport and see it be played. Because if you put a stick in there, I got a buddy who's got a kid, he's got to be 4 or 5 now. He put a stick in his hand, he's out there and he's killing it over in Kansas City, and where they've got a strong juniors program over there, a young kid that's killing it, and he's like the only black kid on the ice. And I just kind of look at it, like your point with soccer. think it's some places that we could break through and really see a whole new element get added to the game, and that would be
because we're maxed out as black people at other sports. We're maxed out.
I hear you.
We're maxed out.
I know. I know.
Let's be to diversify our funds.
And I think that the emotional part of the game would suit a lot of kids growing up, man, in hardcore areas. Like, you want to let that emotion out? Go do what I did. Yeah. You can still fight. You want to go let your emotion out? Go catch somebody come around the net and put them in next week, and then see how you feel. You feel good, baby. Now, you don't want to hurt people. Don't get me wrong, but God, let that out.
Yeah.
Let all that fucking inner hardcore. You want to do it? Play hockey. It's fast paced, baby, and it's not football. Yeah, I want to hit guys, but it's like it's just a system. Here's what we're gonna do this play. Here's what we're gonna do this way. Where hockey, you're free roam. Like, if I'm gonna get you, it's on my time, and I can control that. That's why it's awesome.
Now, I love the fact that this is my theory. Before I want to get to, I definitely want to take a couple minutes to talk about your podcast before we get out of here and talk about, transition in the media, the other side of the sport and getting in the media. But I love how a couple of years ago we had a conversation. We were just on the phone and we were talking about the NBA playoffs. And you were just like, I finally watched the NBA playoffs, and that shit was awesome.
Oh, because you've been working the whole time.
Well, we didn't have a basketball team. Like, why? I didn't play basketball growing up. One sport I didn't play. Like, I never got into it. You know what got me more into anything is the Michael Jordan documentary. I mean, I watched, oh my God.
So you're ready for NBA to come back though next month?
Dude, those guys were so hardcore.
I want to talk about the Matt. Put the pin in it. I know you're gonna. I want to talk about the NHL's. I think ingenuity with their setup for the coming back thing. I do want to talk about that too, though. I think that's one of the most ingenuity things, though, of anyone being creative of how you set up your situation going forward with your schedule. I think that was awesome the way they set up with the group thing, with splitting the league and saying like we're protecting those teams that were good early. So go ahead, Matt, with yours though. But I do want to talk about that though too before we go into this thing.
Cool.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's just talk about it. Let's talk about it now.
Yeah. So like with the group, it's basically like a small World Cup on the higher tier side, and then you have the lower teams basically fighting to play those teams, and those higher teams basically fighting to be a better seed. Am I right, Cam? Is that basically the setup?
Yeah. So the guys aren't just gonna wait. So the wild card teams are gonna play, and they're gonna see where if they don't make it, then they're gone. So, but if they do make it, then they're going to play. So they already played. That's basically a playoff round for them. So what they had to do is they kind of have to equal out the playing field. So the other teams that are sitting out play each other just to be seeded. Mm-hmm. You're not knocked out if you lose. And look, it's kind of goofy, but who gives a shit? Everything's fucking goofy.
But it's all to get yourself together, though. And
let's go. Let's go. What the fuck? I don't give a shit. What the fuck? Let's go. And I'll tell you this. If you're the New York Rangers or Chicago Blackhawks, and you barely squeak in, or Montreal Canadiens, and you win your little preliminary round, and then you go and you play 4 fucking rounds, and you win the Stanley Cup, you deserve it. Right?
That's real shit.
You do. You fucking deserve it. You fucking just battled, and you beat everybody in the weirdest circumstances ever. Your team, your organization, your players, your coaches came together at the right time, figured it out, just in the same playing field as everybody else, and you fucking did it. You get a ring, you get the cup, go fucking party.
Well, that's where I look at it. And that's the thing why is it, in your opinion, because this loops us back to this playoff thing, why is the NHL playoffs such a different environment? It just feels like everything changes when you get to that. And I feel like it's a sport that if you watch in the playoffs, you will fall in love with it. I think a lot more people are going to have their eyes on the NHL playoffs because of the environment that we're in.
And they seem like they're more organized as well. Like their situation is very, very organized. Like, and that's the first time I can say in a long time that the NHL has been organized. I feel like they've been behind the 8 ball with a lot of things, especially after their like second strike where they were gone for that long time.
Oh.
That was like almost a death knell almost. But like I think this is like rejuvenated where they were like, you know what? Nobody was talking about NHL. They just came out with a plan. I know me and Matt had talked about it before, and it was like they came out like, we ready, baby. We already got it ready to go. We ready to go. We have the whole plan.
Well,
the schedule. Let's go.
They're in the right situation to do that. The players already got paid. You're already at the end of your season. And so that could go both ways. Like the players like already got paid. Why do I need to go for 2 months, but they're like, no, we know this. It's best for the team or for the game and for the league, and they're just going to suck it up and do it. And I think people realize that if you do win the cup during this situation, it's meaningful. But they're primed and ready to go in the right spot. Now, Gary Bettman has hooked up fucking St. Louis, dude. Think about it. Winter Classic, All-Star game. Now another Winter Classic up in Minnesota, if that happens. And all this recognition. Now we just won a cup. Like Gary Bettman, man, I know we've been through some tough times with him, but he's a go-getting son of a bitch. And the NHL has been going this way for years now. Like it stalled a little bit with the lockouts. I went through both of them in 2004 and in 12, lost a lot of money. But now my pension's fucking awesome because of that lockout too. And because I'll give an example. So I played a lot of years in the NHL, but I have 300 so-and-so games. I played up for probably like 700-800 games, meaning I'm on the roster. So they changed that pension plan. Instead of playing games played, it's days on the roster.
Oh,
so,
man.
like, I know. So I played fucking a ton of – so they just boosted my pension like no other. So, like, there's some good that came out of that too, man. The NHL's in a good spot, dude. It really is.
Well,
really is.
And I think that being able to have this opportunity, I think that this is where baseball is going wrong. A sport that needed to be played while people didn't have anything else to do and put it in front of people. That hockey, I think, has that opportunity to pick up some people now that are just like, I want to check out sports.
Yep.
And that's why I always say that hockey, for a lot of, in St. Louis at least, hockey fills the NBA void for a lot of white people, where a lot of black people in St. Louis are still watching the NBA and not watching hockey just across the board. We'll watch the Blues, but won't watch hockey across the board. And I feel like both sports kind of fit that, that little void with each other. So what I hope is that, like you were telling me that you were watching the NBA playoffs, and like, this is awesome. I should have been watching this. LeBron, KD, they were doing their thing during that time. I hope people do that and watch the same thing with the NHL. But that could also be a spark to get more people in the game.
Oh, yeah. And they know that, and that's why they're pushing this. And the players know that, too. Again, the MLB is in a different situation, dude. They're in a completely different situation. They're all like, wait, how much money am I? I'm grinding it every single day, and now you're cutting this much out of my – like, what? Like, so it's – God, the MLB's in a weird spot. But I do think that Gary Bettman and the crew are like, yeah, let's be center of attention. And let's build the sport. And this is the thing, though.
I brought this up to Matt, though. Matt's going to probably disagree, and he's going to be upset when I say this. Basically, all these other leagues are setting themselves up saying, like, we can get this summer money, too. Why don't we just move our league and just take over? Because they would give baseball their time for those 2-3 months.
Oh, dude, I'm not upset about that. There's nobody that's more upset at baseball right now than me. Maybe
I know. But I also told you that the English Premier League is going to be better than Major League Baseball.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm not getting a check right now because baseball isn't being paid. I'm pissed. Don't worry about that.
I know.
I'm missing out on checks right now because baseball ain't.
Funny how that works too, man.
But baseball's really dropping the egg with that, though. Like, you're basically basketball's basically saying, you know what, we can start the league in December and do it through July. Hockey saying, like, we can start our league in November and go it through June and just eat up that plate that they left open.
Well, it's smart. There needs to be more sports diversity throughout the summer. It just makes more sense that way. But real quick, I want to turn the corner to some stuff. So you come back over, and then I have the weirdest job interview of my life. With when I walk into the room, and then Cam and TJ and Hannah and Tim McKernan are doing a job interview. I don't know it's a job interview. I'm just coming in there and talk to Tim about, because I was working then at that point. I was writing and doing my thing for a little while, but I was about to, really make the jump. And so I make the jump I was doing radio at 5 o'clock in the morning, like a crazy person.
I remember listening to you. Yeah.
And, So, we did that, and then we went ahead and, you guys met with me. We talked over some stuff, saw my vision for what we wanted to do. And then originally I started when you went into your first job in radio at 590, or were we 690 back then, still 620 or whatever we were back then?
It was 590, yeah, it was 590.
So we were going over there at that point, and then, what do you know? You end up sitting in on an interview and interviewing me and be like, all right, I like that guy. We can work together. And then we put together maybe the oddest bedfellow show in the history of
oh, my God. The line change. No, that was man. That was my you got. I don't know why. I guess, but you gotta understand. that was my first. I never knew any other job besides of course playing hockey. So it all came together, and we all sat there. How intimidating was that, though, Matt? You like walking, like, what am I doing? Like, what? I don't know why he even had us there, but right when you walked in, I'm like, yeah, okay. You started talking, you broke it down. You're like, no, it just worked, man. It just worked, dude.
Yeah.
And the other two guys that walked in were just we're like, what? I don't know. And then you just, man, whether that show worked or not, God, the shit that you learned from just being in the game and doing shit on your own and learning how you produce. And I would have to I didn't even know how to fucking break the blues down at that point, dude, at all. Oh, my God.
You know what? The thing I'll say is that everything that works doesn't have to go on forever. I would say unequivocally that show worked just because of all the things that we've done since then.
Yeah,
all the things we've done during. I mean, everybody that was on that thing either did another level of what they were doing already or have gone on to do a lot of other cool stuff and learned a lot about the business for it. So even if, we don't have to go into all the reasons and all the stuff that happened with it, but, I think that everybody came away from it in a spot where they've been able to move on and learn something from it, other stuff, because now, I mean, it's crazy to think about you talk about, we didn't know how to break down this or do that. I've learned how to be a point guy since then. You're doing your own show as a point guy now. That's a whole nother world than what we would have been in if we wouldn't have, had that experience. So for me, I feel like it was a huge success either way.
Oh, no, 100% on that. And you knew how to break down shit right off the bat. So who are you kidding? I didn't even know. I just didn't know how to, there's so much to it, man. Your bravado, your this. How did, he didn't get the puck. I was like, wait, no, the power play. Oh, there's a sequence on how you have to break shit down and, how to take notes. I've never taken notes in my life. Ever in school, went in fucking 5th grade. I don't know. I don't take notes. So I'm like, I didn't have I just starting from scratch, dude.
I've never worked with anybody that had more notes to be ready for stuff than you in my life.
I didn't know what to write down.
When we sit down and do this show or do our regular version of the scenario, we just send text messages back and forth to each other all week, and then we just decide which ones we're going to talk about. You brought stuff to the
that's basically it.
Playbook to the thing nonstop. So we were there, but since that time, like I said, now you're doing the Cam Janssen show in the noon slot, which is a big slot in radio for people to know. I mean, you want morning drive, you want afternoon drive, or you want to be midday. So now you've done midday, you've done afternoon drive, you're doing that, but now you've also gotten into the game that we're in. That's another big play. It's a podcast world, and you got the Cam and Strick show going on, man. So and I'm gonna pump your tires. You always try to pump my tires. I appreciate it. Don't stop. Please do it. But now you're the number 2 hockey podcast in the country in under a year of doing the show. I mean, what's that situation been like for
you? It's tough, man. Anybody that thinks that they could just be like, I got a podcast. Oh, do you? Mm-hmm. It's a fucking lot of work. It's a lot of work. And the problem with me at the beginning was I still wasn't comfortable asking legit questions. Andy's been doing this shit for 25 years. He's been asking Hall of Famers questions his whole life, knows how to take it. And it's one thing for me if you ask me a question, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm asking Hall of Famers questions that really, they don't really know me. They do, but they don't. And that was tough off the bat. And I found a way to get my rhythm and just be yourself. And at the beginning, I tried to be a journalist like Andy. And I'm like, no, what the fuck am I doing? And I just figured it out. And what happened was, honestly, is we did one show a week, and then a week and a half later, we didn't have a rhythm, but you have to have a rhythm. And so we do our podcast Mondays, we release it Tuesday. We film or record Thursday, release Friday. We do our ins and outs of the next podcast that day. So the beginning part of the podcast is the night before. So it wasn't 2 weeks ago when I interviewed the guy, the beginning part. So everything's up to date. We need to talk about what's going on in the city or whatever. It's up. So and then the social media aspect. We're hiring people. We're buying different apps. We're doing this. We're spending money to build this thing up. So it's not just so all these fucking dipshits, they say, I got a pot. No, you don't. You and your buddy are doing it. No, you're not putting shit together, doing this, really reaching out. There's if you want to be successful, it's a full-time job. But it's a full-time job sitting in your goddamn office, hanging out, talking to Hall of Famers. and you're making money doing that, that's a fucking, I don't have a boss. We don't have Barstool backing us. We don't have ESPN or fucking
Fuck
Athletic.
Barstool though, for the record. Me and Matt had a long-standing beef with them. Matt actually started it with the guy from Barstool.
Which one, Dave Portnoy?
Yeah, that's during the Stanley Cup playoffs last summer, right?
Oh yeah, when he said
he started it. I'm co-signing it, trying to get everybody else on board.
When he talked bad about emos, I didn't accept that.
And then he was sitting up in the nosebleeds talking shit. Then it was just pissing me off.
No, but they hit him with a towel, and it was embarrassing. Look, if Barstool offered you $500,000 a year to do your podcast, you'd probably say yeah. If Barstool wants you to do it, you're like, fuck yeah, I'm taking your money.
And then we'll build our own with that money.
Like if they want to, but the point is, we don't have them backing us. We don't have Athletic. We don't have anybody. We own everything. So all the money comes right to, no one tells Cam, stop it. You're talking, no one's fucking saying anything. They understand, like, no one's behind me. We have a chance to keep expanding, but we spend a lot of money because you have to orchestrate the sponsors now. They all want their attention, and you got to clip it with different things. And Maddie, like the shit that I've learned just by doing that, but I got these interns in place. We hire a guy that worked at Fox Sports to be our producer or whatever. And, we get him a lot of money. So it costs money to build it up, but that's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, I would say that there's absolutely nothing that I do in my life that I do more frequently than work on not only just our show, but the other shows that we have, that we're growing through our network and things like that. It takes a lot of work to do it. And that's the advice that I give people. I say, if you're going to do a podcast, do it. But you can't, in the market now, you can't afford to come with it and not be ready from the day that you got your first show. You have to be ready. Otherwise, you're going to get swallowed up and you're never going to catch up. Because people aren't going to take you seriously because there's too many people that are out here doing it the right way.
Why are you better than other people? How are you separating yourself? Andy and I separate ourselves because we ask hardcore questions to these like owners of teams, and we funny with them. And I'm myself, and there's no I could say whatever I want. And I bring it, man. And people just they like the raw, just like what we're doing right now. It's raw. Yeah. It's not buttoned up. Like, what's your favorite cookie, Maddie? I like chocolate chip. I don't give a fuck. Tell me something bad about you. Tell me, be raw with me, baby. I mean, make me laugh, or say something like, God, my fucking wife is so mad at me. Oh, I fucked up. That's why. Show me something. I don't give a fuck if you like cupcakes or cookies. I hate that fluffy ass shit, man. It doesn't work, and you ain't making money doing that shit.
Yeah, nobody's tuning in for that.
Fuck. No one gives a shit.
Well, before we go, man, I'm going to say something to you that, that I've gotten I've gotten a lot of people that reached out and, we're happy about it and we're pleased with what happened, man, is that, there's a lot going on in the country right now. Obviously, we're cutting this on Wednesday afternoon, and it'll be out shortly afterwards, like we just talked about. But, you don't have to ever use your platform for anything else other than what you want to do. It'd be really easy to do a sports show and just stick to sports. But, you reached out to me on Monday, and we cut a version of your show that probably is unlike any other show that you're going to run while you're running your program, but it was necessary. And one thing that we talk a lot, we spend a lot of time talking about the riots that happened over the weekend, the things that are going on in America, at the particular moment, and really diving into that. And, I appreciate you taking the time to reach out, not only to me, but being so fired up as you were about it, saying that people need to be talking about these things. This is ridiculous for people not to be talking about it. And, at a time when you have a lot of people that are going to their corner, I'm going to be with my people. So I'm going to be with black people. We're over here. White people, you're over there. People are breaking ranks, getting in the middle and mixing that up. And you use your platform to do that in a way that I don't think anybody could have saw coming when they tuned in on Monday, but it was needed. So I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, that was
and
dope.
I hope that, on the other side, people have been just as open, saying that they took something away from that conversation and all the different corners. And me, you, and of course, Charlie Marlowe is super pro.
Oh, awesome.
We're in the same way.
Here, let me put it this way. I thought I was going to wake up that Monday morning and every single person on the radio that's all they're talking about. I thought, Maddie, I tell you this, and you know it, and you do it too. I listen to everybody. I listen to every show. I go back and forth. I got this going. I got that going. Nobody fucking touched it. I thought everybody was going to talk about it. No, I'm like, what? the city's burning down, and shit's, people are, we're not talking about this. It actually was kind of disappointing, and I'm like, fuck that. Isn't this what we want? Isn't this a conversation that we want? Just like we talked about whenever you get into a fight with somebody, and now you want to kill them. No, now we're done. We're good, or whatever. Like that's what you need, man. Like you need to talk and show that. Like it just like you could talk about it. You could talk about anything. We're all dealing with it. It's different. Don't get me wrong, with different people, 100%. But I was disappointed, man. And everybody not even fucking bringing it up. This is our third day now I'm bringing it up. And we talked about it. Because you have to. Isn't that what everybody wants? Bunch of pussies, man.
We're not gonna get anywhere if we don't. And there's no I got no expectation of everybody having some consensus about things, but if you don't even take the time to talk about it, you're not doing any justice with it. You're not learning anything, and you're most certainly not helping anything. So,
but they're just gonna tweet. They'll tweet something. Like they'll be like, oh, I like, but what? Are you talking to somebody? Are you donating money? Are you gonna go set up a like? Are you like some of these athletes? They'll tweet something out. What the fuck else are you doing? Yeah. Are you gonna go downtown and say every September I'm gonna start this in the inner city? I'm gonna start this whether the kids want to play hockey or not. I'm gonna go there every September. I'm gonna talk to my agent. I'm gonna talk to my marketing director. We're gonna go downtown. We're gonna set up this little thing. I'm gonna hand out stuff. I'm gonna show different things. I'm gonna talk. Some kids might like it. Some kids might ignore you. So fucking what? Now you do something. Here are the charities. Not all charities are good. Here are your charities. Pick one out. Find something. Do your homework. You fucking virtual thing. I'm look. They're like poems. Some of these are like poems. I get that, but it's like, what else?
Yeah, it's about
action,
action,
else
man.
You doing?
And so the thing I say about that though is that you could very easily be like, this is not impacting me. This is not happening in Eureka, but you use your platform, and I know we'll continue to do the things that we talk about. And, hey, we need to do this in order to do that. I know you're one phone call away for pretty much anything, but definitely one phone call away for doing that too. So I appreciate that. That's an example of what I made a call to arms and told people that they need to do. I'd say, listen, you don't have to understand this. You don't have to be a part of it, but at least listen, because you might pick something up that you care about. And all the people that, that did that, you're one of the first ones that are like, you got to talk about this. And we got to,
man.
So let's get it out the way.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate it. Again, I'm in my own little world out here in Eureka, dude. I'm in a good spot. I chill. I don't have to fucking work. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have to worry about fucking anything. They treat me like fucking gold out here. They do. I'm not, but I still, but we're still a part of the city, dude. We're downtown, Maddie. Me and you were going to the games, baby, and we're walking through the fucking back and partying with fucking Lozy, drinking. We're downtown, dude. We're downtown. Like, it's part of it. How can you not bring it up? It's just fucking terrible. And we will, man. And we're all learning, dude. We're all learning. But there's a lot more people could do, I think, to like really show that they want to do it instead of just tweeting things out like you're a fucking poet. I'm sorry.
No, you're
sorry,
I agree with you all the way, bro. So
God.
Man, hey, brother, we appreciate you making time to come in, man.
This is awesome, man. You gotta come back on, man. We gotta bring him and Pace together when we can get everybody together. Don't bring that
up. He's gonna get pissed at me. Don't bring up Big O. He's gonna get
him and Pace, him and Big O together, man, on one show. It'd be awesome, man.
Why don't we do this? Let's wait till this shit settles down as far as like the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And let's go to a fucking cigar bar.
No, we already got the spot. We go to the underground over at
Cheshire.
Let's chill. Let's have some fun. Let's have a couple cocktails. Let's all sit together, put a camera on us, and fucking shoot the shit like real motherfuckers. Like let's talk about shit.
By the time that we can get out the house again and really play, I think we won't have any shortage of being able to want to throw some stuff together. So
I know, man. I know.
So, but you can catch Cam, man. Go subscribe right now. All the same places you subscribe to us at, you can subscribe to his show.
Cam working to hit you up at too online, like your Instagram, Twitter.
You're cutting into my promo. I'm cutting the promo.
Oh, my bad.
But you can all the places you subscribe to us. You can go check the Cam and Strick podcast. You can get all of that right there. But where can they catch you at on the online as well to see what you got going on?
I got Twitter, Cam Janssen 25. I got Instagram, Cam_Janssen 25. You'll just type it in, you'll find it.
So somebody took your name without your number on, like a regular guy named Cam Janssen that's in like Winnipeg.
Well, I would do 55, but I did this when I was with the Devils, and I got off of Twitter for like years because they didn't let us go on there. So Cam Janssen 25 on Twitter, _Cam Janssen on Instagram, and then Facebook. Just type my name in, man. I got a fan page. I got that. So, it's tough to balance the social media, dude. But you're getting used to it, man. The way you have to throw content out and shit. But yeah, dude, it's up there, man. I'll entertain you guys.
I'm so extraordinarily proud of you. You've gone from the days when me and Kate were running. Kate is his wife. That we were running anything that went through Facebook. We had to type it for you because you refused to interact with it. So
I can't spell. Wow. I can't spell, by the way. Terrible. I'm so bad. I'm embarrassing beyond belief when it comes to that. 9th grade education, by the way. I can't spell. It's fucking terrible. I just learned to type with 2 hands like 2 days ago.
I still can't type with 2 hands, Kim. So
it's fucking embarrassing.
Your fucking hands are the size of boxing mitts. So I think that probably has something to do with it. Good. Hey, brother, thank you, man. Thank you for the time, man. Truly appreciate it, brother.
Love you guys. I'll talk soon, eh?
All right,
right
man.
On, boys. Right on, boys.